These are people that you can count on for multiple perspectives. They are the people you want to have in your boat with you, metaphorically. You work together, you push each other, you set goals together, or at the very least, you share your goals. You are cheering each other on. You might be commiserating about the grueling work situation, but no matter what, you've got each other's backs. Welcome to You Belong in the C-Suite podcast. You are ambitious in life and in your career, but something is missing. You want to bring more of your passion to what you do. Because let's be honest, you pour a ton into your work, and it needs to mean more. I'm your host, Laura Eigel. I'm a mom, wife, PhD, coach, advocate, introvert, and indoor rowing fanatic. I'm passionate about living a life that's in line with my values. We'll give you the actionable tips and tools you need to lead with your values, make a difference, and have career success. The world needs more diversity and authenticity in the top jobs at organizations. Your leadership belongs there. You belong in the C-Suite. One of my favorite things is to get direct messages on LinkedIn from female executives. They reach out to me directly, maybe on a not so great day after back-to-back meetings or being triple booked, after a day ruled by things not moving the needle. And they think, what are we even accomplishing here? I don't feel like I'm making an impact. They reach out to connect because they want a safe space to figure out what's next for their career. Because right now in their role, they know it doesn't feel right. Something is misaligned. They know it in their gut, and they've made a pivotal decision. And that's why this is one of my favorite things, because these leaders are ready to be intentional and strategic in their career. That feeling might sound similar to you. You might be watching others get promoted, seeing other people ascend to positions that are well beyond their skill set, and you feel frustrated and maybe not valued. I want to tell you that you can step into larger, higher paying roles while having boundaries you never even thought were possible. How would it feel to walk into your work week knowing that you have a list of challenging things ahead of you, that you have more control over your day? You might be shocked how calm and centered and focused that you feel. The opportunities are coming your way, and there's no part of you that's hesitating to consider them. I want you to get more strategic in your career, to figure out that next step, to land that promotion that you want, to feel like you are in charge of your week, to set the standard for how you work and how you show up. I know that you're ready. You're ready now. Join me and other high-achieving women in the 6-month group coaching cohort. Apply now at thecatchgroup.com/group coaching. That's thecatchgroup.com/group coaching. Learn more and apply today for the You Belong in the C-Suite group coaching program. Welcome to this week's episode of the You Belong in the C-Suite podcast. This week, I'm excited to focus on something that has amplified my success in my career. So much that I built it into the Values First framework that I use to coach others. As a recap, the Values First framework is the framework that I use to build boundaries and create a team culture to motivate others to achieve success, while also leading as my authentic self. It's the framework that I use to coach executives to do the same, and it's highlighted in my book, Values First: How to Get the Life and Career You Want. So that you can remember it easily, I created an acronym which spells out values. The V is for Values First, the A is for Audit Time, the L is for Life Boundaries, the U is for Uplifting Others, the E is for Experiencing Conflict, and the S is for Sustaining Values. And today I'm going to dig in more to the Uplifting Others section of the Values First framework. Specifically, I'm going to dig into the idea of finding the support you need from peers and mentors to keep your boundaries intact. So after you've done the work of clarifying your values, figuring out how they show up in your life, and starting to build boundaries, You need to set yourself up for success for that behavior to change. And knowing the people in your life who will hold you accountable to your values makes you feel less alone and more supported and better able to hold on to your boundaries. Have you ever taken an employee survey that asks you if you have a best friend at work? It may sound weird to be asked that at work. Like, why would a company ask you something like that? Well, because it's tied to performance. This is a common survey item that is asked in many companies, and with research done by Gallup, it shows that employees who have a best friend at work tend to have higher workplace engagement. And more engagement usually means higher performance from employees. So not only is that beneficial for you, you're more engaged, but it's also beneficial for the company that you work for because that will lead to high performance for them as well. So you may have a best friend at work. And if you're anything like me, there may not just be one person. There's a crew, a group of people that you go to for different perspectives. These are trusted peers that you can confide in and who confide in you. I call this my catch crew. And I talk about this in my book, Values First. Now, if you aren't familiar with the name of my company, it is called the Catch Group. And I may have mentioned before that I am an indoor rowing fanatic, so much so that it is in the intro to this podcast. There are a lot of indoor rowing machines on the market, but I love my water rower because it simulates pushing through water. Except I'm not rowing in a boat. I'm just either at the gym or at my house. So what's even better is that in rowing, there are so many analogies that you can make in leadership and teamwork. And in rowing, generally in a bigger boat, you most likely need a crew and you all row together. And if you don't row together, you basically end up going nowhere. So within the Values First framework, I call your crew your catch crew. These are people that you can count on for multiple perspectives. They are the people you want to have in your boat with you, metaphorically. You work together. You push each other. You set goals together, or at the very least, you share your goals. You are cheering each other on. You might be commiserating about the grueling work situation, but no matter what, you've got each other's backs. I want you to think about the individuals who you would put on that boat with you, that metaphorical boat. They don't have to be people that you work with currently, but they should be people that you consider peers. They might be a colleague that you previously worked with or a dear friend from college. Members of your catch crew may be people who you go to lunch with, who you might talk explicitly to on text and emojis, who you hype up, or who hype you up when you have a bad day. They might be people who you catch up with on how your weekends went, people you vent to, who you ask feedback from, who you give feedback to. These are the people that you feel safe around. You tell them about your promotion first. You check in with them after a hard day. You talk to them about your career advancement, or maybe lack thereof. You confide in them about your horrible manager. It's people that know you well, that know what your boundaries are, who urge you to keep your boundaries, and most importantly, who hold you accountable to your boundaries. And guess what? You hold them accountable to theirs too. I want you to think about who these people are. Who are these people that you would put in that boat with you? I want you to write those down. List the people in your catch crew. They are right there rowing with you, in sync. I won't let your boat tip over. By having them with you in your boat, you'll get to your destination faster, stronger, and most likely with some big laughs or tough lessons or feedback. How would it feel to go into every job opportunity or boardroom without hesitation because you have a clear value system that guides you? How would it feel to have renewed energy and focus to put your skill set to work by stepping out of things that are not meant for you and actually prioritizing your own needs, reaching that career milestone that you want, and establishing the legacy that you know you're here to leave with your authentic leadership? I am thrilled to be opening enrollment for our You Belong in the C-Suite group coaching program. This program is for leaders who are ready to step into the next level of their career without sacrificing everything and their values to get it. You belong in the C-Suite, and it's time that you start believing it. The world needs more diversity and authenticity in the top jobs at organizations. You are ready. You have what it takes to get there. And I'm going to show you the skills that it takes to thrive there. Learn more at thecatchgroup.com/group coaching. That's thecatchgroup.com/group coaching. Your catch crew. They may not all be in each other's respective boats, but they are in yours. So these don't have to be an intact group of perfect people. They can be people that you reach out to individually, and most likely that might be the case for you. The people in your boat might be different than your friend's boat. I know for me, the people that are in my catch crew are people from multiple different companies that I've previously worked with. Some might be previous peers. Others are previous managers who are now more like trusted confidants. Some are people who I used to work with years ago, while other people I've worked with more recently and who I've built a relationship with. But for all of these people, they have something in common. We have a relationship that is based on trust, accountability, and support. We most likely have some of the same core values in common, even though some of us are very different people, maybe at different stages in our lives. Look at your catch crew list. Can you say the same thing about yours? Is there another person who you think you might add to your list? Or is your list lacking? Do you feel like you need to build a stronger group or add to that crew? I will tell you that's not uncommon. I think that now more than ever, with remote work, hybrid work, the pandemic, some of our relationships just aren't as strong as they used to be. While others might be thriving, it doesn't mean that all of them are. But you can build those relationships. Here are 3 ways to build your catch crew. First, you can reignite past relationships. Check in on some of those previously strong relations that might have fizzled out. Catch up by scheduling a virtual meetup, a coffee with a previously strong relationship that you haven't talked to in a while. Second, you might become more active in some of the networks that you're already in. So you might belong to an industry network or a women's group or an employee resource group. You might belong to a university alumni group. Attend a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting and start building more relationships in those groups. Potentially, you already have values in common with some of those, and who knows, you might be able to build on those core values to build a relationship strong enough to add that person to your catch crew. Another way you might build your catch crew is to join a new group. For instance, I'm currently part of a mastermind group for entrepreneurs, and I have met some people in there would never have met otherwise, but we've built some very deep relationships, and some of them in a very short amount of time. And some of those people I would absolutely consider part of my catch crew. So here is the action for today. Remember the U in the Values First framework. It stands for uplifting others. So if you feel like you need more support from others, one of the best way you can do it is to model it. So I want you to show some support to the people on your catch crew list. Here's something I'd encourage you to do. Reach out to your catch crew individually. Send them some love, whether that is a quick text message, a voice memo, or a DM on LinkedIn. Get in touch with them and tell them that you're thinking about them. Tell them what you value about them. Remember, your leadership belongs here. You belong in the C-suite. I want to thank you so much for listening to the You Belong in the C-Suite podcast. If you are enjoying this content, please remember to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. By leaving a review, you are helping others find this content. We will be featuring 5-star reviews on air in upcoming episodes. Editing and support for the podcast is done by S&E Podcast Management. To get more tips and tools to help you live a life guided by your values, go to thecatchgroup.com. Keep your boundaries and take care.